Welcome back. Now, as the cost of living continues to rise and access to quick financial assistance becomes more crucial, MTC Maris has launched a new product aimed at easing short-term financial strain, the Taamba Maris Instant Loan. We're now joined by Kayembe Ilunga, General Manager at MTC Maris, to give more insight into how this new loan service works, who it's designed for, and how it aims to promote responsible borrowing in today's economic climate. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for being here. Well, as I mentioned, MTC Maris has just launched the Taamba Maris Instant Loan. First of all, can you walk us through how it works and then what makes it different from other loan products in Namibia?
Sure, happy to do that. I think, firstly, it's MTC Maris, which is the digital financial services arm of MTC. MTC Maris is a wholly owned company of MTC, and we are regulated by the Bank of Namibia, obviously due to the product that we offer. And Taamba Maris is an instant loan product which MTC Maris has launched. And why, if the question around what makes it different, really, and what makes it special, is one, it's the first instant microloan product that was being launched under the sandbox of the regulator. Two, it's completely digital, end-to-end. So all you need to use is have a mobile network, so *140 *682# USSD to access it. And I think three, also, it's targeted at the previously underserved. And from a timing perspective, the product really aligns with national objectives, especially those that have been underlined in the financial sector digital transformation strategy from 2025 to 2035. It's really looking at financial inclusion. It's looking at digitizing the economy. And there was a call that was put out by the Bank of Namibia, which we've answered, I believe.
Previously undeserved. In layman's terms, what does that mean?
Sure. I think if you look at the data, there's a large population of our country, one, that are unbanked. The latest data that I showed was around 400 to 500,000 Namibians today don't have access to traditional financial services, number one. I think on top of that, even those that do have access, some of the products that are created aren't created with their needs, and more importantly, their expectations in today's digital world. So the target market, when we say previously unbanked, previously underserved, obviously refers to those who didn't have access to those traditional services. And secondly, to those who have access to them, but the product just don't meet their needs at the moment because it hasn't been designed with them in mind.
Some members of the public have said that this service is no different from a cash loan scheme. Would that be accurate of them?
I think I can understand the concern, right? And we welcome it, because the more concern, the more feedback we have, the better we can tweak our product at the end of the day before the bigger launch. But I do believe there is a misconception. One, if you look at some of the cash loans that are out there, especially from some people who request your ID and your bank card, our interest rates are capped. They're capped based on the regulator. MTC Maris itself is one, regulated by the Bank of Namibia, and the product which we launched, and with our partner Letejo, they are regulated by NAMFISA. So there's two regulators really looking at this. If we look at the product itself and how it differentiates, one, straight through digital, like I already mentioned. So no paperwork, no payslip required, no previous, historic data that they're taken to, not part of these paperwork, straight through digital. If you look at what we've done, what we've built, is that in 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes for slow typers, you can have an instant loan delivered straight into your MTC Maris wallet, which you can then use at merchants. You can purchase other value-added services. And if you look at how we've built the product and what we've targeted for, it's really the fact that a lot of Namibians often fall short of little amounts of cash that they need at near the end of the month or for emergencies, and especially from an SME perspective. That's why we built the product, to help you get the chair at the salon for the day so that you can make the funds back and repay the loan in a shorter time, to help you buy those fruits that you'll need in order to obviously make the salsa or whatever it is that you can sell onwards. So really targeted. really focused on our target markets. And I think if you look straight through digital, if you look at the fact that it's a simple product that you can get in 60 seconds and that you can get from the comfort of your home, I think really differentiates us from a number of cash loans out there.
You mentioned that this product was, developed for those who were previously underserved, as you mentioned, and you're also trying to address the financial inclusion gap. But debt in Namibia is a serious concern, with Namibia's public debt, expected to surpass 168 billion by the 2025-2026 financial year. That, in plain terms, lets us know that people struggle to pay back when they've borrowed. So my question is, does a service such as this, at a time as this, not add to this national crisis?
I think it's a valid question to have. And obviously, we are concerned about that crisis that we're having. But if you look at the product itself, especially the limits that we've put in and the repayment terms, we've kept the product at the moment at 1,500 Namibian dollars maximum. We've made the repayment terms short as well, 7 days, 14 days, and 30 days. And we did that on purpose as to not further burden on a long-term basis some of our clients. And I think if you compare it into the market as well, usually what you'll get is a pre-approved amount. You're approved for this. And it's human instinct in behavioral science to take that amount even though you don't need it. So by capping those amounts, we're making sure that it's, one, capped at 1,500. Two, the repayment terms don't start for you for too long. And then thirdly as well, we really making sure to look at the affordability and credit checks as well. So it's not that, you just apply and you get it. One, it's a real data-driven view to check affordability based on your transactions on MTC Maris. And secondly, also, we're working in combination with Credit Info to check credit checks as well.
Is this ITC checks?
Yes, that's correct, madam. ICT checks. So a combination, again, of real data-driven affordability checking, and also with a combination with ICT checks. I think, one, makes us sure that we're getting the right customers to offer these loans to. And two, also, we're taking a responsibility to make sure that the people that we're giving it to can afford it and can also repay those loans back as well. And again, the small cap is really something that we're focusing on.
I also want to know how MTC Maris is ensuring that, Taamba Maris promotes responsible borrowing. So what digital, safety measures are in place? Because I'm thinking, if we speak of previously underserved, I'm thinking of perhaps, as an example, a pensioner, a young grandmother who's looking after her grandchildren. And, she's got a teenager in a house, and this teenager then takes the phone and dials the short code. And she knows none of this.
Spot on.
And, the $1,500 is received and wasted. So what safety measures are there in place?
There's numerous safety measures, and at different levels, right? Firstly, from a regulatory and a compliance perspective, we make sure that we adhere to all the regulation and compliance that has been prescribed to us by a regulator. At an application level, we follow things like penetration testing. There's certain standards that we adhere to from a cybersecurity and an ICT perspective to secure the application itself and to secure the Taamba Maris platform. And, to hone in more on your question and answer that a little bit more directly, I guess the one message that we have, like every traditional financial service company and digital financial services company has, is please do not share your PIN. It's not as easy as just dialing the USSD code and getting access to the Taamba Maris platform. There is a PIN that will have to actually be entered as well. So our recommendation, and please, our strong suggestion is do not share your MTC Maris PIN with anybody else, because it actually is a wallet that has financial products on it. And in essence, anyone that has your PIN could access that capability, take out the loan and take those funds. So we've put in your traditional security at both the application level. We adhere to strict regulation and compliance for the product. And two, also from a customer engagement perspective, we've made sure that there's a PIN, we make sure that there's security, that tunnel itself from the USSD to the application isn't affected. So we've really taken bank-grade security measure on our platform.
Take me through the whole thing, Kayembe. I dial star, whatever, 682 hash. The prompt I get then says what amount I'm assuming I would like to borrow.
Yeah.
I then choose my amount. I agree to the terms of paying it back in whichever 7, 14, 30 days. I get the PIN. Where does the money come from? How do I collect the money?
Sure, great question. So you dial *140*682#, like you rightfully said. I've always been told that you need to say something 7 times before people remember. So hopefully people remember it with that USSD. So after dialing that USSD code, if you haven't registered for MTC Maris, we'll ask for your name, your surname, and for you to create a PIN so that you can obviously have access to the wallet. Once you've got access to the wallet, you can fund it. You can, yes.
Just, sorry, so the PIN I'm creating
Yes.
is the PIN that I'll use every time, and that's the PIN you
on.
mentioned and said that you need to keep private.
That's correct,
Okay.
madam. So you'll use the PIN, and to fund your wallet, you'll basically fund it via EFT. So from any bank, you can EFT directly into your wallet. From our distribution network, you can walk in, give them physical cash, and that will be topped up directly onto your wallet as well. And then you can do a peer-to-peer, what we call P2P transfer. So if someone already has an MTC Maris account, they can send you those funds. Obviously, once the fund once the wallet has been funded, you should be transacting on the wallet as well. And that transactional record in combination with the ICT check that we're going to do will give you access to Taamba Maris Instant Loan. So to access the Taamba Maris Instant Loan, you must be a Namibian citizen. You must have a valid Namibian ID. You must be between the ages of 18 and 60. Obviously, you have to be an MTC subscriber, and you have to have transacted on the MTC Maris platform for at least 3 months. Once you've done all of those checks and you qualify, you'll see on the USSD menu again, you'll click Instant Loans, and once it will take you through the journey of choosing what loan you want, the repayment terms, and accepting that. A credit check will be done rapidly as well in the USSD journey, and they're giving you the instant loan. So in under 2 minutes, you can go from picking instant loan to receiving the instant loan in your MTC Maris wallet. Once it's in the wallet, it's like any cash that you've got, any store of value in country that you have. So you could either purchase our value-added services on the platform, airtime, pay your municipal bills, DSTV, GoTV, your usual value-added services. You can obviously on-send those funds as well. And then you could pay at one of our merchants. So you could walk into a store, pay using Maris, which is also instant, or you could walk into the same store, which is part of our distribution network, to cash out and get physical cash. Of course, that's not something that we want. We want the funds to stay in the ecosystem because we're aligning to the financial sector. Well, we would love to lead the financial sector digital transformation. Hence why we know that cash will be there for some time. We've given the ability to still be able to withdraw cash. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Back to the question on Namibians struggling to pay back debts.
Sure.
If a loan is not repaid
Yes.
within the 30-day mark or the 7-day mark, whichever option you've chosen, what are the steps that are taken?
I think before we even get there, we really do try and give the client any opportunity to make the payment and to obviously pick a shorter time period based on what they want. So when the client picks the loan amount that they want, they'll pick their time period as well for the repayment term. Of course, each one of the repayment terms have their own interest rates as well. So, for example, $100, 7 days. During the course of that time period, we will SMS them, reminding them that so we'll collect the funds from your Maris wallet on this day. Please make sure that you've filled your wallet up by that time in order for the auto strike to occur. Right? I know where you're going with that laugh. And once that has surpassed, or before even that, we do give our clients the ability to make either full or partial payments in their own time as well. So if the date of recollection hasn't come yet, you are allowed to go onto our USSD menu and actually make a payment of any amounts that you can pay at the time. And then we'll do an auto strike. So after that, if we haven't received the funds, of course, we'll continue to, send you SMSs, send reminders, and in the background, we've done some really smart things to make sure that you don't just throw away SIM cards and swap them, right? Because of the KYC that we had to do. So I really urge Namibians, one, to take the amount that they need and not indulge, to also spend it in emergencies and for upliftment rather than what some of the youth will call enjoyment, right? And 3, also to make sure that they pay on time, because although it might seem like a small thing, it is still a financial service product and it is still an instant loan, and there may be repercussions on your credit score if you don't pay it back as well.
Of course, always encouraging responsible financial decisions. Just lastly, looking ahead, Kayembe, are there perhaps plans to expand the Taamba Maris offering, perhaps with higher amounts, longer repayment periods, or even additional features?
Yeah, definitely. I think the future of the Taamba Maris product is in the hands of ordinary Namibians, right? The better the product does, the better it's received. We'll definitely look at expanding the value proposition. There are currently talks around the amounts, there's talks around the age group as well. But I think more importantly is just the holistic MTC Maris offering, right? So we obviously, as MTC Maris, are wholly owned the digital financial services company or fintech company of MTC, are really have massive aspirations, and that is to lead the financial sector digital transformation. And our ambition is to have 100% financial inclusion in Namibia. And how will we achieve that is by making sure that we offer digital financial services, not only on the instant lending side, but offer other value propositions that will meet the needs of the ordinary Namibians, and more importantly, like I said before, the expectations in today's world.
Mr. Kayembe Ilunga, it was lovely having you here with us this evening. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
When we come back after this very brief break, our conversations here on the Daily Roundup continues. Stay with us.